The film Freedom Writers, which is based on a true story, follows a high school English teacher, Erin Gurwell, as she encounters uncharted territory that is her freshman class. She is thrown into a class of mostly minority students, a population that she has clearly not worked with before. The movie follows their journey of figuring out their roles as student and teacher, as well as friends. The film is set in Long Beach, California in 1994. Although the story concludes with a happy ending, the main purpose of the film is to demonstrate the racism and other serious issues the students of Room 203 faced. The target audience is very wide because of the range of races included in the cast. People of a variety of different races can connect to the film because of the diversity included. One of the main African-American characters is Andre Bryant, played by Mario, who is actually an African-American. He is a very disruptive student at first, but turns around his life with the help of Mrs. Gruelle. Marcus is a very similar character to Andre because they are very disruptive and display a lot of the stereotypes of African-Americans. He is played by Jason Finn and is also an African-American. Erin Gurwell is the character that demonstrates the most assumptions of white culture. She is very action-oriented as she wants to help everyone in her class and make their experience the best she possibly can. She is future-oriented because she wants them to succeed in the future and make it to graduation. In the beginning of the film, when she places an emphasis on getting respect from her students, she displays the status, power, and authority assumption. However, it progresses and she feels that status, power, and authority, including respect, should be earned and mutual between her and the students, regardless of position. This movie displays many confirmations of these two stereotypes. All characters, not just African Americans, in this movie truly live in what would be considered the hood. They come from very low socioeconomic families. African Americans also display a lot of ignorance and disrespect for their teacher. Both Andre and Marcus yell, curse, and fight with their teacher during various scenes. These same characters break both the lazy and ignorant stereotypes during the film. Both Marcus and Andre display valiant effort in bettering their grades and creating a better relationship with their teacher. Marcus even shows initiative when welcoming a survivor of the Holocaust to their class. Both students participate inside the classroom and out, including their multiple fundraisers sponsored by the class. At times, Mrs. Gruelle seemed shocked at the effort and strong performance of her African American students, especially because they had not been very welcoming towards her. But when they broke the stereotypes and improved their academic performance and attempted to be more respectful to each other and their teacher, she was very supportive of them. Their classmates also supported the breaking of their stereotypes. Through Miss Gruelle changing the aspects of white culture that places a heavy emphasis on status, power, and authority, she was able to form a relationship with her students that allowed them to break the stereotypes of their own races. Marcus, Andre, and the other characters also teach an important lesson to minority viewers. They broke stereotypes of African Americans who were lazy and ignorant. They showed the audience that not every African American is going to adhere to these stereotypes, a very important lesson for society to learn. The second film that our group chose to review was The Help, which is based off of the novel written by Catherine Stockett. The movie is set in Jackson, Mississippi during the Jim Crow era in the early 1960s. It is about a young white woman, Skeeter Felon, portrayed by Emma Stone, who is an aspiring journalist on a mission to author a book recounting the stories and struggles Black women, or the quote-unquote help, face on an everyday basis while working for the white families. The two most prominent Black characters in the movie are Abilene Clark, played by Viola Davis, and Minnie Jackson, played by Octavia Spencer. These two ladies are the most willing to share their stories with Skeeter, exposing the racism and the hate they experience from the white families that they work for. Assumptions of white culture. In this film, the white people, particularly the housewives, feel extremely entitled and above those who are colored. The help serve as maids, the people who raise their children, the ones who cook and set the table, and the list goes on. Essentially, the help do everything for the white families so that they do not have to lift a finger. The white culture characteristics that stuck out from the chart in regards to the movie were competition. The housewives in this film are in constant competition with one another as to who is living the best American dream white picket fence life. Decision making. They believe that they are above the help and that they must abide by whatever they are told to do. Status, power, and authority. A person's worth in this film is completely determined by how much money and material things they own. Time.
such as demanding the help to finish chores when they are commanded to. Aesthetics. White women must be elegant, dressed to the nines, and always looking flawless. A microaggression is a statement, action, or incident regarded as an instance of indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against members of a marginalized group, such as a racial or ethnic minority. In this film, the aggression and discrimination is blatantly and purposeful. Making colors on the bus exit, not allowing national news on television because it was a broadcast involving blacks, a police officer brutally hitting a maid upon her arrest for no reason, ordering the help to enter through the back door when coming inside, and the use of derogatory terms and name-calling, the most disrespectful one being the N-word, are examples of blatant aggression and racism in this movie. In our society, there are many stereotypes associated with those of color. In this film, the most applicable ones would be that blacks have no emotion. Although separate, blacks are equal. Black people are below those who are white and deserve to serve. Black people are lazy. Black women are angry. And all white people are racist. These stereotypes are broken throughout the film, as you've seen many of The Help break down in tears of pain throughout the film. The blacks are not all treated equal and constantly belittled and degraded. The black people are clearly not lazy, as these women run the white families' lives day in and day out, sun up to sundown. Although many white characters in the film exhibit extreme racism, they are not all racist. Skeeter Phelan is on a mission to expose the mistreatment the Help face and attempts to stop it. And Celia Foot's character, Minnie Jackson's boss, leans on Minnie during some of the hardest and best times of her life. She looks at Minnie as more of a companion. The film was passionately written and did a good job depicting the harsh environments black females were subjected to in this era. Because this is a Hollywood film, I'm sure it was sugar-coated and fluffed to please its white viewers, and significant pieces of post-war history were clearly and evidently omitted. The core of this movie, however, was to illustrate the discrimination blacks faced during this time and highlight the beautiful and unexpected relationships formed by black and white women. The movie had a predictable, happily ever after ending, which was not realistic for black people during this time, or in fact, sometimes ever.